Oasis of Hope came into my decision process really early on, before I even started any treatment in the States. I actually knew about Oasis and made a decision to come here first before I started any significant treatment in the States. I don't know if anybody tried to convince me not to come, but it was definitely a shock to me. I didn't know that it was in Mexico. I thought it was in Florida. So I was really surprised, and I thought, oh, maybe this is not the right thing. I really questioned myself. Like, why would I do that? Why would I leave the country? So it was really more an internal thing for me. I don't think there was any one person who said I shouldn't go or tried to convince me that it was a bad thing. I think people expressed concern, but I'm pretty independent, and they knew that they could express their concern and that I would take that into account. And I looked at all the pros and cons and made the decision to come, and I'm very happy that I did. I have had treatment in the U.S. I did have maintained doctors there, and I have had all my surgeries in the United States. So I certainly have had care in both locations together. The big difference, I think, is the level of care and concern for me as a person. I certainly, over the years, have found doctors in the States who have real care for me as a person, not just as a patient, but it's taken some effort. I certainly had doctors who refused to treat me because I wasn't following exactly what they said, and because we didn't kind of mesh. The doctors here are very concerned about me. They ask about how I'm doing as a person, about my quality of life, not just about this is how your tumor is doing. So that has been a big difference. It's very peaceful here in the hospital. It's something that I look forward to coming. It's not like, oh, I've got to go again. It's something that I look forward to. It's restful, it's peaceful to talk to the other patients, to see my doctors. It's like a second home for me. So it's not a scary place. A lot of times hospitals for me have always been kind of a sad, scary, they smell bad, I don't like it. Whereas here, it's very comfortable. I enjoy it. I look forward to coming, and so it's a very different kind of situation. One of the things that has kept me coming back and has kept me in relationship here is the fact that it's such an integrated approach, that when I come, they're not just telling me about natural things, they're not just telling me about the traditional chemo, radiation, and surgery, but they're telling me about all of it. And so that makes me feel like I'm getting the whole picture, and that we're talking about all elements of possible therapy. So that's really encouraging to me. In the years that I've been coming, there's been an increased emphasis and discussion about research and looking for new information that is out there about cancer treatment. And that really is encouraging to me, that they haven't just said, this is our treatment and we're just going to stick with that. They've continuously looked to improve and make the better treatment. And I think that has made a big difference for me, as each time I come, I know that I'm getting new advice, new information, with the latest information that's available. And that's been great for me. So I know that I'm getting a comprehensive look from all angles at what I'm dealing with, and not just one perspective. So that's something that has really kept me coming back, and very appreciative about being here and knowing that I'm getting the very best treatment possible. I think one of the things for me when you get a cancer diagnosis, particularly in the States, from my experience, was that it was a very fearful experience, that there was a lot of everything's an emergency, everything is, your life needs to stop, and they're scheduling every appointment, everything is about cancer, everything is about the possibility of you dying, everything is very dramatic, and it was very fearful. And as a Christian, it was very difficult for me because I didn't want to live in that fear mentality. So coming to Oasis, that was one of the big things that I noticed, is that there's not a fear here. It's very comfortable. The doctors are very honest about your condition, and we talk about it honestly, but it's not, if you don't do this, you're going to die. That's not the message. Their message is, we're here to help you. We're here to help you in your healing process as you move through it. And I think that's really encouraging and rewarding. It's allowed me to live my life in an amazing way, even though I've had a diagnosis that's been very difficult and at times has been traumatic. I've still been able to live a really wonderful, full life. And part of that is because I have, the great treatment, and because I've learned not to live in that fear. And that comes through my faith in God, which is shared by a lot of the staff and individuals here, which has been just a real blessing, because we don't run around walking in fear of cancer. We walk around living for the joy of the Lord. And I think that has made a huge difference for me, and made a big difference in my treatment here.